So, very, very popular YouTuber, CallMeCarson, recently got accused of grooming. I'm not going to get too into it. I'll link the allegations down below in the description so you can read them if you haven't seen them yourself. But I will say, at the very least, that the evidence provided by the person accusing him is very, very convincing. As in, like, it looks very real. I think there's almost no chance that it's faked. Whether or not you think he's, this side or the other thing is up to you to decide. But what I do want to talk about is something that kind of closely relates to those allegations, and it's something that was found recently on Twitter. So recently, on January 5th, there was a Twitter thread about CallMeCarson, and it reads, CallMeCarson has a game on his Steam log called Pregnancy. Pregnancy is a game about a 14-year-old girl in Hungary where she is raped and gets pregnant and is looking for advice on her future pregnancy. So obviously this is a very, very dark game, even for me. But I think the real issue comes in on this next line. He has clocked in 107 hours for a game you can beat in 40 minutes approximately. They link screenshots of Carson's Steam account with showing that he has 107 hours. I'm going to talk about this, but not only this, I'm going to add on to this, because there's actually something that I think a lot of people are missing. So when I saw this, I went to go verify if it was real. So I went to CallMeCarson's Steam account, or at least to what I thought was going to be CallMeCarson's Steam account. This is where Steam ID, CallMeCarsonYT, as you can see in the address bar, will bring you right now. This used to be Carson's Steam ID. Of course, he's changed it now, so now it just leads you to like some random person named Real CallMeCarson. I don't know. But it is fooling a lot of people. A lot of people are commenting under this account, putting in, saying, talking about the situation, I hope you get help, whatever. They are being fooled. This is not CallMeCarson. This is some random guy who took the ID after CallMeCarson changed his ID. And we'll talk more about why he changed his ID later. So this is where I need to bring in another website. There's a website named archive.org or Internet Archive where you can go back, sort of go back in time and look at previous versions of web pages. Putting in this URL, Steam ID, CallMeCarsonYT, you can get CallMeCarson's Steam account. This is actually from January 5th, so literally 2 days ago, back when this Twitter thread was made. This is how CallMeCarsonYT looked on Steam. It was actually Carson's account. If you have doubts about this being Carson's account, let me show you. So this account is level 33. It's been on Steam for 6 years, so an account that wouldn't really gain much from impersonating Carson in the first place. Now, all we actually need to confirm this is Carson is actually just his friends list, which he left public here. We can't actually view the full friends list of 103 friends, because that wasn't archived. But these 6 should be all we really need to confirm this is Carson. So let's go over some of the accounts that are in his friends list here. Let's go over first John Wick from Fortnite. This account belongs to popular YouTuber Pyrocynical. Again, a Carson impersonator, someone who's trying to look like Carson, would not have the actual real Pyrocynical in his friends list. There's an account named Yopez, which belongs to YouTuber Traves, as you can see from his previous aliases and the fact that this is his account. Another one's called fuck, you can read what's on the screen, right? This account belongs to, I believe, Hugbox, a YouTuber named Hugbox. It also may be worth mentioning that Travis and Hugbox are quite close to CallMeCarson and recently went on DramaAlert to discuss Carson's allegations. So these are all very popular YouTubers' accounts that happen to be added by this account named Games5, or CallMeCarsonYT. So if you had any doubts that this wasn't Carson's account, it should be pretty obvious, as these are very popular YouTubers. He's got a knife in CSGO. He has 3,500 hours in CSGO. These should be signs that this is actually Carson's account. Of course, I'll leave a link to this and every other link I use in the description, so you can verify this for yourself. But like I said, this is CallMeCarson's account. I don't think there should be any doubt in anyone's mind at this point. Going to his Games tab, which was actually archived, we can see that it is true. CallMeCarson has 107 hours on a game named Pregnancy. And this is where things start to get weird. Going to the Steam page for Pregnancy right now, it's actually been removed. It says at the request of the publisher, so not Steam themselves, but the publisher who published this game, Pregnancy is unlisted on the Steam store and will not appear in search. So it's actually impossible to get this game on your Steam account now. It was released in 2015, February 18. Now, if you had bought this game before it was unlisted, you still have it in your Steam account. Steam doesn't get rid of games out of your library if they're delisted from the store. They just make it so you can't buy it anymore. So even if I wanted to buy this game, I wouldn't be able to. But if I had bought it back when seemingly CallMeCarson got it, or a few years ago, back when before it was delisted, I would still have it today, still be able to play it. Just to be thorough, I checked through archive.org for the history of pregnancy to try to find when it was unlisted, and it was unlisted seemingly sometime between March 2018 and May 2019. I know that's a very long window, but it's the best I could do. That means that CallMeCarson must have bought this game sometime between March 2018 and May 2019. Going to when it was actually on Steam, on this archive is from March 31st, 2018, it seems the game went for $2, so it actually wasn't free. CallMeCarson would have had to buy this game for $2, which isn't very expensive. But regardless, he would have had to buy this game. Reading more about this game, it doesn't try to hide the fact that it's about something fucked up. It literally says in the bio itself, the decisions of a 14-year-old girl about the future of her pregnancy. Go into the screenshots, you can see what the game basically is. And it's quite dark, as it was described earlier. Going through the reviews, it seems this game is quite literally just text and images on, just a background. No voice acting, apparently just some generic background music, and you make choices, and that's literally the entire game. It's just words, pictures, make choices, very simple game, and apparently takes no longer than 30 to 40 minutes to complete. As this guy described, it's about a 14-year-old girl getting raped, pregnant, and is now looking for advice, and it's essentially a 10-minute PowerPoint presentation with classic music. Now that we know a little bit more about the game, why does CallMeCarson have 107 hours on this game? Of course, this is coming to light now because he has, accusations against him for pedophilia and grooming and whatnot. So it is a little weird that he would have 107 hours on a game that seemingly takes 10 to 40 minutes to complete. This would be like if it took 30 minutes on average, 214 playthroughs. Obviously, this isn't like an incredible experienced game. I mean, if he were to want to write this off as a joke, right, and say, oh, I played it as a little fucking meme between my friends, whatever, you would not have 107 hours on the game. I've played games on Steam as a joke to stream to my friends or whatever, but I never have more than 2 to 3 hours at most, maybe 10 if it's a very long game. 107 hours is just very weird if he were to try to write this off as a joke. I mean, he has more hours on this than he does Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, of course, Carson hasn't given any public response to the original allegations made against him, nor this pregnancy fiasco, I suppose. But we are very sure that he is aware of it. As I said earlier, he is trying to hide his Steam account, and let me show you the lengths he has gone to try to hide it. Obviously, I said at the beginning, he gave up his ID as CallMeCarson YTID on Steam, some random guy has it now, to try to hide the account. But I don't think Carson either understands, or maybe he just didn't expect people would do this, but you can still find your account regardless of what this ID is. So let me explain. Steam has two types of IDs. I have the ID here, I'm going to use my Steam account for example, where you can change this. See, mine is ID Screenments, because that's my fucking name, and I can change it anytime, custom URL. This is an ID you can change. This was the same thing that CallMeCarson has with CallMeCarson YT. However, there is a second type of Steam ID which you cannot change. I believe the name is Steam ID 64 or something. It's a 16-digit code which you cannot change. I can actually check mine with an extension I have here. It's 7656 and all these numbers. Checking Steam Rep, you can see the same thing. Steam ID 64 is 7656 whatever, right? And these are numbers that you cannot change. We can use this 16-digit Steam ID 64 to find Carson's Steam account right now and what it's turned into. There's a few ways you can do this. Just Googling CallMeCarson Steam brought me to a website similar to SteamRep named steamid.uk, which had his account, but I'm going to show you probably the most convincing way we can find it. Going back to the archive of CallMeCarson's account, we can right-click, hit View Page Source, and Control F and search for Steam ID, all one word. Going down, we'll find Steam ID and then the 16 numbers that we're looking for. Using these 16 numbers, we can put steamcommunity.com/profile/ and then the 16 numbers. Doing so will get us to Carson's current account. Now, why does Carson's account look like this? I don't know. I can confirm this is his though, because not only do we have the 16 digits, of course, but going to his previous aliases, he still has Games5, which we saw earlier. We still have all his previous names that he's likely used in streams and videos before. Even CallMeCarson is one of them. There are even further ways to confirm that this is Carson's account, using what I assume is a glitch with the way Steam works with private profiles. Scrolling over the Gary's Mod logo, which Carson has changed his profile picture to, we can see a blue effect around his profile picture. Going back to his account from the archive, this is the exact same blue effect he had around his profile picture before he changed it. So I think there should be no doubt in anyone's mind that this is Carson's account. But why has he seemingly randomly changed it to the Gary's Mod logo and changed his name to Gary's Mod? Well, because he's trying to hide the account. He gave up his ID, he gave up his profile picture, privated his account because he's trying to hide this information. This happened all the same day that this Twitter thread got popular. It seems that Carson is trying to hide his Steam account, which is not something that an innocent person would normally do. Like I said earlier, it would be difficult to explain why you'd have 107 hours on a game about a 14-year-old girl being raped. But it seems like Carson just doesn't have an explanation for this, which is why he is trying to hide his Steam account outright. Furthermore, going back to the people he was friends with on Steam, a few of them have their friends list public. Like Traves, for example. Going to his friends list and searching Gary's Mod, I can't find the account. I tried this with a few other friends that I could find on Carson's friends list that had their friends list public, and I couldn't find them there either. Privating your account does not make you disappear from this list. I tested it myself, meaning that it is likely that Carson has removed all of his friends from Steam, or at least a lot of them. Carson is trying to get rid of every single connection that you can find to his Steam account, seemingly to hide the fact that he has 107 hours on a game about a 14-year-old girl being raped. He does not want you to see this. He doesn't want you to see this video, likely exposing him. But regardless, I figured that the least I could do was show this. You can come to your own conclusions on the original allegations or whatever, but it is undeniable that Carson has something to hide here, as he has gone through such lengths to try to hide his Steam account from the public. But hey, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to inform everyone that Carson is trying to hide something here, and that this should not be overlooked, as there is clearly something here. I didn't originally think there was something here. Or at least, maybe I wasn't so confident in it, but after seeing Carson go through all these lengths to try to hide his Steam account, clearly he does not want people to see this. So there's something weird going on here. This can't be played off as a joke anymore. Why did he private his Steam account? And why has he clearly responded by hiding his Steam account, but not publicly responded to any of the allegations made against him?